Long before the Romans ruled the entire Italic peninsula as the center of an expanding empire, the Etruscans created a thriving culture in northern and central Italy. The heartland of the Etruscan was the territory between the Arno and Tiber rivers of central Italy. The rush-green hills still bear their name, Tuscany. It was the land of the people who the Romans called Etrusci or Tusci, the region centered on Florence. Etruscan wealth came from fertile soil and an abundance of metal ore. But besides being farmers and metalworkers, the Etruscans were also sailors and merchants. They exploited their resources in trade with Greeks and with other people of the Eastern Mediterranean. Etruscan artists knew and drew inspiration from Greek and Near Eastern art, assimilating such influences to create a distinctive Etruscan style. In architecture, the Etruscans established patterns of building that would be adopted later by the Romans. Cities were laid out on grid plans, like cities in Egypt and Greece, but more regularly. We know something about Etruscan domestic architecture within the city because they created house-shaped funerary urns and also decorated the interiors of tombs to resemble houses. Walls with protective gates and towers surrounded Etruscan cities. The 3rd to 2nd century BCE city gate of Perugia, called Porta Augusta, is one of the few surviving examples of Etruscan monumental architecture. A tunnel-like passageway between two huge towers, this gate is significant for anticipating the Roman use of the rounded arch, which is here extended to create a semicircular barrel vault over the passageway. Let's look at some details. Here we can see the Greek architectural influences. The layout of this part resembles the Greek Doric friezes. Remember the sectioned frieze like triglyphs, metopes, like this. These Ionic column-like decoration replaced the triglyphs. This column-like upright strips are called pilasters. The Etruscan incorporated Greek deities and heroes into their pantheon, and like the ancient Mesopotamians, they used divination to predict future events. Beyond this and their burial practices, we know little about their religious beliefs. Our knowledge of the appearance of Etruscan temples comes from a few excavated foundations, from ceramic votive models, and from the later writings of the Roman architect Vitruvius, who compiled descriptions of Etruscan architecture sometime between 33 and 23 BCE. Etruscans built their temples with mud brick walls. Columns and entablatures were made of wood or quarried volcanic rock that hardens upon exposure to air. Vitruvius indicates that, like the Greeks, Etruscan builders used the postern lintel structure and gable roofs with bases, column shafts, and capitals recalling the Doric or Ionic order. Like the Greeks, Etruscan builders built their temples on a rectangular base, little high platform, like here. We can see this little high platform. But they often embedded this temple into the urban setting, not like Greeks in a certain, like some kind of religious spot. Rather than surrounding their temples uniformly all side with a stepped platform, so Greeks temple has the all side like steps, so people can go through any way, get into the inside of temples. But Etruscan temple has only one side is open, the front side here, with the staircases. One staircase to lead the visitors to this sanctuary inside. And also, the Greek temples have all these columns surrounding all the way, right? But Etruscans had only one side, this front side, and double this way. Also, Greeks decorated their temples with the sculptures here, right? Pediments or metopes in this part. But Etruscans decorated their temples with the sculptures on the top of the roof here, not here. Okay, so it's a very unique. So even though Etruscan builders borrowed or inspired by the Greek styles, so they used this one, Doric columns and capitals, still they have their unique styles in their temples. Although Etruscan temples were simple in form, they were embellished with dazzling displays of painting and terracotta sculpture. I told you earlier, right? On the top of the roof. The temple roof, rather than the pediment, served as a base for large statue groups. The finest surviving temple statue is a life-size image of Apollo, which displays the energy and excitement that characterizes archaic Etruscan art in general. Popularly known as the Apollo of Veii, it is one of the group of at least 4 painted terracotta figures that adorn the temple's ridge beam. Apollo's well-developed body and his archaic smile clearly demonstrate that Etruscan sculptors were familiar with the kuroi of their archaic Greek counterparts. But the comparison of the Apollo and Greek kroisos reveals telling differences. Unlike the Greek krois, the body of the Etruscan Apollo is partially concealed by a rippling robe that cascades in knife-edge pleats to his knees. The forward-moving pose of the Etruscan statue also has a dynamic vigor that is avoided in the balanced, rigid stance of the Greek figure. This sense of energy expressed in purposeful movement is a defining characteristic of Etruscan sculpture and painting.